Hello and welcome back to another United Devils watch-along. Today we are going to be looking at Aston Villa's clash with Manchester United in a real race for top four and survival for relegation for both teams. Manchester United, of course, on 55 points going into this game, knowing that a win would take them within 1 point of fourth place Leicester and 2 points of third place Chelsea and 6 points clear of Wolves in sixth. Villa know that after Bournemouth got a 0-0 draw with Tottenham Hotspur earlier today, they would be 19th in the league by a point, and so any result for them would be good. Ideally, a win, as it would see them get within 1 point of safety. For Aston Villa, they line up with former Liverpool goalkeeper Pepe Reina, making his 8th appearance of the season for Villa since joining from AC Milan on loan. Of course, Nyland is the sub-goalkeeper after some awful mistakes that have forced him out of the team. It's an unchanged back four from the side that played very well but ultimately lost against Liverpool. Konsa is the right back, Courtney Hawes and Tyrone Mings are the two centre-backs, and Neil Taylor is the left-back. In centre midfield, it's John McGinn and Douglas Luiz. Jack Grealish is obviously the roaming number 10 who will be so crucial if Villa are to get points from this game. Trezeguet and El Ghazi are the wide attackers, and Mbwana Samatta is the sole striker with Keenan Davis on the bench, and Mbwana Samatta looking for his third goal for Aston Villa. For Manchester United, David De Gea makes his 399th appearance of the season. For United, which equals Peter Schmeichel's record. Victor Lindelof is back after coming off against Bournemouth at half-time for Eric Bailly, but it seems to be fine to play today, alongside Harry Maguire, with Wan-Bissaka and Shaw flanking the two centre-backs. We have Matic, Pogba and Fernandes as the usual three. And, of course, the usual suspects up front with Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. The combination of the three players have 55 goals of Manchester United's 96 in all competitions so far. In the bench, we've obviously got the 9 players on the bench for Aston Villa. It's Nyland in goal. Gilbert is back after being in and out of the team due to fitness. El Mohammadi is a wide option who can also play as a defender. Marvellous and Camber, Hourihane and Lansbury are the central midfielders. Jota's a more attacking option. And the two strikers, Indiana Vassilev and Keenan Davis, are the two strikers for Villa, who are in desperate search for consistent goal scorers. For United, it is the same bench that played against... that sat against Bournemouth. Romero as the goalkeeper, Bayern Williams defenders, Fred, McTominay, Matt and Pereira the central midfielders, no Jesse Lingard again, Daniel James is the winger, and Odi Nagalo is United's sub-striker. United will know that this is the 50th meeting between themselves and Aston Villa. Of course, United have won 34 of those, drawn 12, and only lost 3. So this will be a massive shock if United do lose, especially since they are 16 games unbeaten, and Aston Villa are winless in 9 and have obviously not won throughout the restart, and United are the only Premier League team to still be unbeaten since lockdown ended for the Premier League. It will be a massive game because obviously they did draw at Old Trafford when the teams were significantly different. Obviously no Bruno Fernandes, no Paul Pogba, and Nemanja Matic was injured as well. And it was Fred, Pereira and Mata as those those midfield players, which was... It didn't have enough puncture to get through the Villa team and get the win after a fantastic Grealish goal was then cancelled out, and then cancelled out by a Tom Heaton own goal, and then Lindelof looked like he'd won the game for United. However, Tyrone Mings equalised almost immediately after a small mistake from Brandon Williams in his early United career. United know that they have a bit more puncture, obviously have scored a lot of goals, unbeaten since Bruno Fernandes came in, and are hoping to continue that good form against a side who struggles for goals and has conceded 62 in the league so far this season, which is the most in the Premier League. It's just about to get underway, and we're going to see Jonathan Moss blow the whistle after the players do take the knee as a sign for the fight against racism. And the whistle's blown, and United play it forward straight to Martial, who loses possession. El Ghazi now with the ball. So United lose possession early, straight from the kickoff, in fact. And Villa look to lump it long towards Trezeguet. Lindelof looks to be defending well and leaves it out for a goal kick, so United can continue their possession. But a really sloppy start to proceedings, even though you don't really expect United to be one to keep possession and whatnot. They're normally a counter-attack, but even then that was sloppy. It's now a short goal kick, which you've seen cause problems for United against Bournemouth, but it was dealt with sharply by Maguire, then Shaw, then Rashford and Matic now, and then who plays it to Pogba. Greenwood coming short, obviously scored 2 of those crucial goals against Bournemouth to get United level, and then to put the 2-goal cushion back at Old Trafford. And now Villa are looking to set back and settle with Maguire on the ball. Now Lindelof, whose substitution against Bournemouth was a bit worrying, as when Bailly came on, he immediately gave away a penalty for a very controversial handball decision by Mike Dean. And Wan-Bissaka is pressed into giving the ball to De Gea, who hits it long. And sometimes his short distribution was called into question. And in fact, his actual positioning for the first goal that Bournemouth scored from Junior Stanislas. And it's now Maguire to Lindelof. Villa really happy in their shape. Matic almost operating as a centre-back, really, in this position. But Greenwood looked to flick it and found Pogba nicely. Wan-Bissaka could be through, and he's going to have to deal with Neil Taylor. But Martial links up well with Greenwood, who's dribbling into the box. He looks for Martial again, but it's dealt well with by Courtney Hawes. And it will be a throw-in for United on the right-hand side. Greenwood, of course, 15 goals this season. He's the youngest player to reach double digits for United since Wayne Rooney, in fact, who scored 17 in his debut season. But it's now Rashford on the left, and the ball's recycled nicely to Fernandes, who flicks it for Greenwood, who misses his kick. It looked like he was pushed by Douglas Luiz. No complaints from the youngster, but Jonathan Moss doesn't give anything either, and it will be collected by Pepe Reina. So lovely flick from Fernandes, and he just slips and misses his kick on a wet surface. You would probably back him to score that. Of course, we have seen points this season with United where they've missed chances early on, and then the mentality or the confidence dropped for the squad, and they conceded and then couldn't get back into the game. So we're hoping this change in mentality that has pushed them so far already will keep them going. But Matic has just given that away to El Ghazi, who's looking to drive past Pogba and puts in a shot, but it's very poor and trickles out for a goal kick. A lot of Aston Villa's team have been bought this season. Obviously, Reina was a loan deal in January. Konsa was bought in the summer alongside Courtney Hawes, Tyrone Mings, Douglas Luiz, El Ghazi, Trezeguet, and Samata was also bought in January. And so obviously it's going to take time for the teams to gel. But one of the stalwarts in the team is Jack Grealish, who's now played the ball to El Ghazi, but Matic recovers well, a lot sharper already than he was against Bournemouth. Fernandes now very deep at the moment, but he's found a lovely pass to Greenwood on the halfway line. Now Rashford could probably break through, but Villa have got numbers back. It's now Fernandes back to Matic. All the play happening down the left-hand side. Greenwood now operating as a left winger. Rashford central alongside Martial, but it's Matic. Finds a nice pass to Fernandes, but it's dealt with well by Courtney, or Konsa even, and clears it very comfortably. But Maguire has won that, and Pogba can now play to Lindelof and give United a little bit more comfort. Matic. Back to Matic from Maguire. Now Pogba and Matic link up so well. Obviously, Matic came in a year later than Pogba, but they gelled well in their debut season. Debut season as a midfield partnership, and obviously became a midfield trio in the latter stages with Ander Herrera. But a long pass to try and find Shaw is cut out by Konsa. And El Ghazi now looking to drive forward has found Samatta, who looked offside, and the official has given it as such. Mbwana Samatta, bought by Villa in January from Genk for £9.5 million. He has got 2 goals for Villa in that time. Obviously not contributed a lot, but contributed more than some. Did actually score in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City, and although it was only they did lose 2-1, it did give Villa a bit more momentum in that game. And while Trezeguet does win the ball well from Greenwood, it's dealt with well by Wan-Bissaka, who could then bring Pogba into the game, and then Matic, who slides it into Martial with good strength and finds Shaw. Rashford on the left-hand side, looking for a second goal in 2 games. Martial to Fernandes, back to Martial, but the pass was overhit, and Villa can come back. And Grealish now, El Ghazi, harassed by Shaw, pressured by Rashford. Did it come off the England player? It did, and the Dutch international El Ghazi can claim the throw. Will look like Villa will sit deep and try and counter United. Obviously, United will try and put every player in the Villa half, and maybe Villa can use their pace out wide and the creativity of Grealish and Trezeguet and John McGinn and Douglas Luiz to feed Samatta, who, I mean, he struggled. I mean, Villa have 4 strikers, and none of whom have got more than 3 goals this season. Wesley, obviously the top goal scorer for strikers, but Grealish is carrying this team with 7 goals and 6 assists. But Douglas Luiz now, who scored a few in his short career, and Maguire has to head it out as it was a dangerous cross. But can Rashford keep it in? He can't, and it will be a corner for Villa, and the first one of the game. Very dangerous ball from Douglas Luiz, and maybe a lack of communication from Lindelof and Maguire, who both went for the ball, but it was cleared in the end. But it could be a dangerous moment because, of course, Villa's second goal against United earlier at Old Trafford did come from a corner. Of course, the person who assisted that goal is now injured, but it is McGinn who puts in a ball. It's headed out by the first man, but Douglas Luiz is on the edge of the box, clips in a nice pass, but was Trezeguet offside? He was. So that will be a free kick to United in their own box. But looked potentially like Douglas Luiz had created a good chance for Trezeguet. Another one of those signings who moved in the summer for $9 million from Kasim Pasa. And now De Gea on the ball, plays it short to Matic, which was incisive. And Matic's strength was tested, and he's lost the ball. But Fernandes has given away a dangerous foul against El Ghazi. He's furious with Jonathan Moss. They're both furious because it looked like Matic was fouled by Samatta, and doesn't look like it. Looks like he gets the ball. Bruno Fernandes may have given away a foul, but it is dangerous. El Ghazi on it. Grealish on it. McGinn surrounding the players as well. Konsa's gone away. A lot of players surrounding the ball. We'll see. David De Gea, of course, United's one of the more stalwart players in United's team. Obviously, David De Gea has been here for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in the summer. He will be hoping to keep another clean sheet in a season that has already improved from last. But it looks like it's going to be McGinn or Douglas Luiz. And it will be Douglas Luiz, and it hits the wall. De Gea stays where he is, and Fernandes can head out for a throw-in on the right-hand side. Big wall, and Luiz couldn't get over it. As I might have said in the comments, if you do have any questions you'd like for me to discuss at half-time, then please comment on the comment section and I'll try and get to them as soon as I can. But in the meantime, it's Konsa to Grealish, who's shrugging off Matic and was apparently fouled. Grealish, who is actually the most fouled player in the Premier League, something that some pundits, especially Graham Souness, has said is not a good enough stat. It means he's not mobile enough or not agile enough to get through the challenges. which makes no sense at all, but that is most of what Graham Souness says. Anyway, it will be either Grealish or McGinn to whip this ball in. Wide one from Villa's right-hand side, and it's Grealish who puts it in, and it's a straight to Samatta, but Rashford does some brave defending and gets kicked for his troubles, and I think it will be a free kick to United. It was Samatta who could have got there, and Rashford does do well to get ahead of there, and but unfortunately does take a knock for it. Rashford, of course, on 20 goals this season alongside Anthony Martial. They'll both be looking to continue their good form, having both scored one in their last game against Bournemouth. But it was Mason Greenwood and Bruno Fernandes who starred in that game, really. Of course, it will be exceptional if they can both get on the score sheet today. And a looped header from Rashford, flicked on from the kick, goes out for a throw-in to... Looks like to Villa, but I think the referee has given it the other way. No, he's changed his mind. It is going to be a throw-in, and Konsa takes it. Cleared by Douglas Luiz. Maguire battling with Samatta and can head it back to Lindelof, who hits it, gets rid of the clearance under pressure. Dealt with it very well. John McGinn won back well by Fernandes, and now Matic can push the team forward. It's now Rashford very central, whips it to try and find Greenwood, and he can keep it in, just about. It was very overhit, and a nice pass from Fernandes to Wan-Bissaka, back to Greenwood. Fernandes on the right-hand side, Greenwood again, just on the edge of the box. Finds Matic, can he slide in Shaw, who was making a run, but he instead clips it back to Wan-Bissaka. Might have been offside, but referee's flag is down for now. Whipped in by Pogba towards... Oh, it looked like it hit Mings and then missed Martial, but Hawes has done well with that. But Pogba has it again, but the referee's given a foul against Matic for Samatta. Ball comes in from Pogba. It hits Mings. It looked like it hits his hand, actually, but it was too fast for it to be called handball, I think. And Hawes clears quite comfortably because it just about missed Martial. Tyrone Mings, of course, made his England debut and played in that controversial Bulgaria game where the game could have been easily called off from the racist chants from the Bulgarians, and he was a big speaker for the Black Lives Matter movement that's been happening all across the world, and quite rightly so, has been given a lot of praise for it. But Pogba gets past McGinn and is fouled by a combination of him and, I believe, El Ghazi, but I'm not sure. It will be a free kick to United. Almost 15 minutes gone, and nothing really materialised for either side in the form of a shot. Greenwood's chance being the best one so far. But, again, no shot on target yet for either side. United can last 2 minutes. They've done better than they did last game, obviously conceding an early goal from Stanislas, and which woke the team up, to be fair. But Greenwood now passing it along to Lindelof and Maguire. The structure of Villa is preventing United from pushing further forward, but Maguire tries to find a long pass to Wan-Bissaka, and he's got the pace to get there, but Neil Taylor does very well and has won himself and his side a throw-in with a great tackle. Neil Taylor, of course, is going to be crucial for Wales. He was crucial in the 2016 Euro as Wales went to the semi-final, but of course will be equally as important in Euro 2021, which Wales still have to qualify for. But it's now United who have got the ball back, and Pogba can play in Rashford down the right-hand side. He's looking to dribble past and try and feed Martial, but it's dealt with well by Mings. McGinn looking to get past Rashford and is fouled by him somehow. I can't see how that's really a foul. It looked more like a collision that was a 50-50. But free kick to Villa, and a bit of release from the pressure, really. Will be Interesting to see how long it will take for a team to break the deadlock. Of course, United haven't had a 0-0 draw since the RZ Alkmaar game, if I'm not mistaken. In every draw they've had, other than that this season, they have scored. Of course, United wearing their second kit, the snake skin-like material. Last time they did so, they actually lost their game against Liverpool before this unbeaten run had begun. So hopefully history does not repeat itself. And Wan-Bissaka has just won a throw-in for United on Grealish after a bit of Villa attack. And now United could try and counter, but the pass was under hit by Fernandes and Martial couldn't get there. It's now Douglas Luiz on the ball in the centre circle who gets past Fernandes, who's tried to press well but couldn't quite get there. Now McGinn, pressed by Martial, finds Luiz. Nice reverse pass into Trezeguet, finds Samatta. Grealish now about 30 yards out, looking to get past Matic. Can't find a pass yet. Can't find a way through Matic yet. It's now Konza, marked well by Mason Greenwood. Rashford's now on the right-hand side for United, and Luiz has picked it up, trying to clip it towards Neil Taylor. Puts in a decent cross towards Samatta, but it's headed out well by Shaw, and it will be a Villa throw on their left-hand side. Back on Jack Grealish, actually, not had much to do so far. His delivery hasn't been great, the one chance he really had, but yet to see more from him. Konsa looking for a good cross towards Douglas Luiz, and it's deflected off Wan-Bissaka, and it will be a Villa corner from that left-hand side for Villa. Good cross from Konsa. Wan-Bissaka kind of misses his header, and Neil Taylor and Trezeguet both don't go for it, but Douglas Luiz, who was making an adventurous run from central midfield, finds the ball, and it hits the number 29 for United. Grealish with this corner now. He looks to whip it in. It's good. De Gea punches. It's a big punch out, but it does find John McGinn, who loses control, and he's got the throw, but it looked like he got a touch on the ball. But Douglas Luiz sweeps it wide to Konsa, who put in that dangerous ball before, and he's putting another good one towards Grealish, but he balloons it, and it will be a goal kick. Wan-Bissaka not doing too well from those crosses in, and Villa have seen that, and Grealish sort of finds his way and goes through, and he hits it on the volley, but it wasn't the best effort. So United with a goal kick, but that should be a massive wake-up call to the right-hand side of United, especially Wan-Bissaka, who was quite culpable for both of those crosses. But they've lost possession now, I think from a short goal kick, and Shaw and Matic have conceded the throw on the Villa right. Will be Konsa. Plays it to El Ghazi. Rashford now tracking back. It's now Wan-Bissaka who heads it out away. Trezeguet looked like he was going to get there, but Wan-Bissaka does a bit better this time. It's now recycled to Douglas Luiz. Clips in another pass towards Trezeguet, and it's just misses him again. This is probably the part of Wan-Bissaka's defensive play that he needs to improve on. He does get a slight nick on that, which takes it just away from Trezeguet, so that was better defending then. But now United play it short again, and they're put under pressure. So we have seen Arsenal be giving away goals for it. Now Pogba's given that away from a poor pass, but El Ghazi's pass was poor as well. Konsa trying to play in McGinn, I think, and Maguire does well defensively. I think they need to probably stop doing that now, United, and Rashford try and get past Courtney Hawes and isn't fouled somehow. I don't know how he hasn't given that as a free kick. But Tyrone Mings on the ball. Douglas Luiz. Villa happy to just play it around the defensive players, not venturing forward at this point. But Mings plays it back to Reina. obviously an experienced goalkeeper, and he does launch it forward to Trezeguet and finds him very nicely, actually. Neil Taylor on the ball, venturing through United's half, gets past one, but Pogba does well defensively, and Greenwood can now bring the ball forward, finds Fernandes. Not really a pass on. He clips it long and finds a mercurial pass to Martial, and then Greenwood's now driving into the box, but Mings does very well defensively and lets it trickle out for another goal kick. Couple minutes till the water break, but most possession happening in the main part of the pitch. Not much happening on either side, but significantly more on United's final third, and that's mostly because of their sloppy passes. So they'll need to sort that out very soon, because that could cause some problems, and we've seen it cause problems against Bournemouth, obviously. But a header from Samata is left to go out by Matic, and Shaw can give the ball to Maguire from the throw. United looking to recycle the play on the right-hand side with Lindelof, but the pressure, or rather the shape from Villa, prevents them again. And that's something we are seeing similarities in from all of United's games since the restart. They have been basically trying to deal with low blocks every time, bar perhaps the Norwich game, but even then they were very defensive. It's now Matic and Pogba playing a couple 1-2s before leaving it for Maguire, who hits a nice pass to Rashford, actually, who's central and looks to find Shaw, but opts against it. Pogba now on the edge of the box has a few options, like Fernandes now, who clips in a pass, and it is overhit, and the Villa players can let it go out for another goal kick. And it will be the drinks break now, I think. Fernandes is looks like he's having a discussion with Martial, talking to him about how he needs to go in from behind and actually make the runs, because obviously when you're static as a forward, you can't always get to the pass, but it just demonstrates what a mentality Bruno Fernandes brings and how much of a character he is. You can see that straight from the beginning, and obviously the leaders we've brought in, the leaders that have come back from injury, that's always helpful. United just need to keep their composure. Don't give Villa hope. Just keep going and keep going and keep pushing, because eventually that Villa defence tires. You saw it against Liverpool, because it took a while, but Liverpool finally got the goals. So it will be hard work. What they've just got to do is just keep their confidence, keep the mentality that they are going to score, and United can break through this team, because they are defensively weak. They have got better recently, but the 62 goals they have conceded in the league, I mean, they should be conceding, 2 a game on average, really. So United just have to keep pushing and know they have the quality to break this team down in the end. Solskjaer having a little talk with some of his players, but they're being ushered back onto the pitch, and it will be a goal kick to Villa. Pepe Reina going to take that again. So far, really, there's not been many outstanding players. You have to say Douglas Luiz is probably the most interesting player to have watched in that half, really, because he's the one that's been shifting the play for Villa at the moment. But looped header by John McGinn from the kick, and Villa try and flick it on, but Pogba has lost possession poorly, and it's now Trezeguet who takes a shot, and it looks like it hits the post. Well, if that's a wake-up call, then if that's not a wake-up call, I don't know what is, because that was dangerous. Pogba loses the ball. It was a poor header from Matic, but he takes a poor touch. And Trezeguet, and De Gea looks like he has it covered, really. But we'll have to see how... We'll have to see. Push. opting against playing it short. Probably fed up of all the poor passes in between, but Rashford takes that down very well from Luke Shaw's looped header. No shots on target yet for either side, and it's all the way back with Harry Maguire now and De Gea. Only Samatta pressuring him, but he needs to hit it, and he has. He's looking for Greenwood and finds him well, who gets past his player and can look to drive down the right-hand side. Can he find Martial? He can, but he's being marked by Hawes all the way, and now Martial again on the edge of the box. Looks to cut it in towards Pogba, but Fernandes is there. Roulette, is he fouled? He is. Is it? Looks like a penalty. Konsa on the line. It will be VAR'd, of course, but it looks like United have a penalty. Lovely roulette from Fernandes, who knows that Konsa's coming in. Nice, incisive. It deflects from Martial. Fernandes is running in. He does a nice roulette. He stamps on Konsa. It's in the box, so if it is given, it will be a penalty. It looks in the box. It might not be a foul because it looks like Fernandes actually stands on him, but he doesn't get the ball, Konsa. It looks like it's in the box. Either way, we have seen things like this. I mean, Fernandes does end up standing on Konsa, not from his own problem. They're looking at the build-up now. They're saying it is going to be a penalty, and it will be Fernandes to take it if it is given. And it will be Fernandes who's looking to score his 8th goal in 15 games for United, and it is Fernandes, and he slots it home. Same place he put it against Spurs, and United do take that lead after an early scare straight after the drinks break, but United are 1-0 up, and now this should be their game. Lovely penalty. Class finish straight into the bottom right corner, keeper's right, bottom left corner. And Fernandes scores again. 28 minute played, and it's 1-0 to United. And you have to say it might be perhaps against the run of play, really, because Villa were looking the more dangerous until that point. But a poor decision at the back has cost Villa again, and it's their 63rd goal they've conceded in the Premier League. And United have scored 57 now. And if United can keep this, they will, of course, be a point away from Leicester in 4th, who have to play United actually later on, and as well Sheffield United next. In 2 games' time, and 2 points away from Chelsea, who have both Liverpool and Sheffield United to come, as well as United in the semi-final of the FA Cup. Now a long kick from De Gea looking to find Greenwood, who chests it down nicely, and now Fernandes. Lovely pass to Wan-Bissaka. Bit more confidence. Pogba back to Wan-Bissaka. It's now Greenwood who's come central, and Pogba can find a lovely long pass with his left foot to Rashford on the left. And Shaw making a good run. Rashford finds him, as we saw against Sheffield. He puts in a ball. It's defended well by Hawes this time, and it will be a corner for United in their first one of the game. And United have started to come to life because there will be space behind Villa because they are obviously looking for the goal. They are looking at this again, Sky, and it is clumsy. I mean, it is. He does stand on Hawes, and Hawes goes down injured. Oh, sorry, Konsa even. And he does go down injured, but you have to say he doesn't get the ball. And now it is Fernandes with the corner. He plays it short to Rashford, who goes back to Fernandes, just on the edge of the box. And it's now Pogba, more centrally, back to Rashford. Plays it into Martial, and Fernandes whips in a pass, but there's no one there, and Mings can header out. But Lindelof's there now, who gets it away from El Ghazi and Trezeguet, who are pressing. And now Lindelof can find Wan-Bissaka, challenged all the way, holding Trezeguet, but Trezeguet does well. And now a long pass could find Samatta if Matic doesn't do well, but he does. And now it's Rashford again. Might have been better to have whipped that ball in. But Pogba and Rashford happy to just keep the ball for now. No real movement ahead of the pair. Matic, Pogba, back to Matic, Shaw, Rashford, good strength, but Douglas Luiz does well as well also even. And McGinn looking to drive past Fernandez, puts in a long pass towards El Ghazi, but it was under hit and goes out for a throw-in on United's left. Why are they looking at this again? It is a penalty. It looks a penalty. Maybe one of the more controversial ones of United's many penalties this season, but you have to say nonetheless, still a very clear penalty. 13 in the Premier League, the joint most in Premier League history, alongside Leicester's title-winning side in the 2015-16 season and Crystal Palace in 2004 and 5. And now Villa are looking to get up the field with a long pass from Hawes, but is cut out by Shaw, and then Matic looks to bring the ball forward, but it's won well again, and Grealish now looking to get to Konsa and McGinn, who has been criticised for not being able to keep the ball, actually. So he's done well there to find Taylor on the left, and now it's Trezeguet looking to dance past Wan-Bissaka, and there's a mismatch here if he can find it, but he doesn't. Instead, he finds Douglas Luiz, who tries to get past Fernandez and can, just about, fires it into Grealish, whose Maguire's strength has come to his aid there in dealing with that. But Konsa puts in a low cross, it's deflected out, and Rashford looks to try and burst through, and Fernandez is there as well. On the ball now, Bruno Fernandes. Rashford and Martial and Greenwood ahead of him, but not much really that he could do about that. Pogba now, incisive pass to Martial, who flicks it to Shaw, who's in the box. He can't get there, though. Lacked that yard of pace where it mattered. And there is someone who's down now for Aston Villa. It's John McGinn. Maybe in making that pass towards Neil Taylor, he might have injured himself. But nothing clear-cut as to whether he's actually got a persistent problem. Dean Smith apparently not happy with the penalty because it's Fernandez who goes into Konsa, but he doesn't get the ball, Konsa, does he? He doesn't get the ball, and he does wipe out Fernandez with his other leg. You do see the other leg come through. You see one leg being put on by Fernandez, but you see the other leg that's going into Fernandez, and as per VAR, it's not a clear and obvious error, and it was Jonathan Moss's original decision that it was a penalty, and that's probably why. But to be fair, would you be aggrieved if that went against you? I'm not so sure. You'd probably have to say, in that case, the rules are rules, and it's not a controversial rule in that sense. But in the meantime, John McGinn is fit to come back on the pitch as soon as he's finished treatment, it would seem. And 12 minutes to go of the half, plus extra time, and United are leading 1-0. And it will be now Courtney Hawes playing it back to Pepe Reina. He's pressured on by Rashford, but gets the ball away. Wan-Bissaka has it now, though. But Greenwood loses the ball. And now McGinn, who's come back on. Grealish now. Can't quite get past Matic yet. But good pass from El Ghazi. And Grealish is, well, it's good defending from Maguire, who dealt with his English compatriot. But El Ghazi puts in a ball. It's headed out by Maguire nicely, but only as far as McGinn on the edge of the box. But it's defended well by Martial, and Pogba can get through and find a good pass to Mason Greenwood on the right. And United have numbers forward, and it's whether Greenwood can find him. And Martial's there now on the left-hand side where he scored his goal against. And he puts in a good shot, but it's takes a small touch from one of the defenders, and Reina can collect. Didn't really... actually, sorry. I apologise. It wasn't actually that good a shot. It was really slow and very central. No touch on it, but you'd probably expect Martial to have hit that with a bit more power, because that can glide over this wet surface, really. But Lindelof with a looped header forwards finds Douglas Luiz. Now El Ghazi, very central. Luiz again. McGinn. looking to hit a long pass to Jack Grealish, but he can't keep it out, and he's looking a bit frustrated. Grealish can throw the ball to another English player who he might be playing with in Euro 2021, Luke Shaw. Obviously, Grealish hasn't got his cap yet, and Shaw hasn't played for England since coming off concussed against Spain in a 2-1 loss at Wembley. However, did set up his United teammate Rashford for the opener. So it'll be interesting to see if they can force themselves back into the England side or into the England side at all. We'll have to see. But it is now Matic on the ball and Maguire looking to have a little venture forward, as we haven't really seen so far today. But Pogba puts in a lovely pass to Rashford, but it's defended well by Neil Taylor. Wan-Bissaka and Fernandes now linking up. It's a loose touch by Fernandes, but he recovers well. And Pogba, he and Matic are now having a triangle of passing. But Greenwood central, looking to drive past Douglas Luiz and shoots! And it's a good save from Pepe Reina. Really good save. And denies Greenwood, who cut in and shot, looking for the near post. And it's a good pass from Matic. And he looks to get past Mings and Luiz, and it's not quite in the corner. You'd probably have expected him to go near, the near post is in the keeper's right. He instead shoots inwards towards the keeper's left, and Reina makes a very crucial save for Villa, because that could have sunk them already. But it's Grealish now, fouled by Bruno Fernandes, who who's smiling rather sarcastically at that. And Moss is calling him over. Is he going to give him a yellow card? It is his second foul of the game, but no yellow card for Fernandes, as we are almost in relief, really, because God forbid he missed a game. But Douglas Luiz now shifting it to Mings. Nice pass into Grealish, but the pass back to someone was poor, and now Rashford can counter down the right. He's looking to drive past his Mings, who looked like he was fouled by Douglas Luiz, but the referee gives nothing this time. Matic. Rashford is down, but it's Greenwood and Shaw now. Matic again. Shaw. Rashford's back up now, so no worries there, it would seem. Seems to be walking just fine. It's Fernandes who clips it wide to Wan-Bissaka. Nothing available for him forward, but Pogba can play one now to Rashford, who whips in a ball from the right-hand side, and it will go out for a goal kick. Will VAR look at this? It's Graham Scott in the VAR tower. It's Rashford driving in. It looks like a coming together, just strength. There doesn't seem to be much in that. Not much at all, no. No second penalty. But a long pass. And Lindelof miscontrols it, and Samatta's now in the United box. Grealish on the edge. Samatta again. McGinn central. Looks for a shot, but it's blocked by Lindelof, I think. Maguire, in fact. Douglas Luiz looking to get past Rashford, finds Neil Taylor. Samatta's still on the Villa left. It's now Mings looping it towards Samatta, who controls well. Wan-Bissaka fouls him, apparently. Looked like he got the ball, actually, Wan-Bissaka, in one of his trademark challenges. And Jonathan Moss has given that as a yellow card, which is stupid, I think. Oh, my apologies. It is a foul, but I still don't think that's a yellow card either way. It is his first foul of the game, I believe. But it's a dangerous free kick for Aston Villa. I've obviously had a couple down the right-hand side, but none quite so much from the left. And Grealish's delivery, if it is to be Grealish, will have to be much better than it was for those corners and other set pieces. It's going to be either Grealish or McGinn again, I think. It's McGinn this time. And, it goes all the way through, I think. But It will be a goal kick to United. I think it was Courtney Hawes who got the final touch on it, but nothing materialised for Villa yet to get a shot on target. United still with, well, actually with 2 now after the Greenwood effort. Solskjaer doesn't seem to be too happy with what's going on. He thinks that United should be a little bit stronger and should be playing a little bit more energetically, really. It has been sluggish at times, but I think sometimes you just do have to break these teams down slowly but painfully, it would seem. But a nice kick out from De Gea, who finds Rashford very centrally. Bruno to Greenwood, who's looking to dance past on the right-hand side. But Douglas Luiz does well that time. Looked like he was about to unleash a shot, Greenwood, but the Brazilian does defend very well and finds a smart pass to McGinn. But he's getting hounded by Pogba. Good strength to stop him, though. All the way back to Reina, who hits it long for Konsa and has controlled that very well, Konsa. But Matic now pushing him for a sharp pass, and McGinn's now got it, but Maguire does well, and now Fernandes can drive it forward. He looks to find Rashford, but Courtney Hawes does well. And now Douglas Luiz. Who's that now? That is Taylor to Trezeguet, who looked to try and keep it in, but ultimately failed, and United will have a throw down on the right-hand side. And now it's Matic to Wan-Bissaka, who flicks it to Pogba, and now Greenwood has the ball after a nice bit of play from all players involved, really. Fernandes, slightly loose, but Matic reads it well, and the Villa players didn't, more importantly. And Shaw, right-footed pass to Fernandes. It's defended well by Hawes again, but Grealish looking to counter. Not many players up for him, but Matic does very well, and Fernandes can give it to Rashford and get it back again. And United still playing very sluggishly. Pogba on the ball now, looking to try and change things up. Wan-Bissaka not really making a run yet, but Greenwood's back to Pogba. Is there an option for him? Only Fernandes, who's not in a usual number 10 spot, but is actually deeper than Pogba at the moment. But comes back to his normal position, and now Pogba can try and find passes, but not many options really available in front of him, and is forced to go back to Lindelof. But he's going to drive forward, finds Wan-Bissaka, looks to get the ball back from him, but it will be a dangerous throw for United. You'd expect them to try and create a chance from this. A second goal before half-time would do United the world of good, but it could bring Villa to making some more attacking changes that could hamper United and cause them problems from the break, because we have seen United be rather sluggish from the start of halves, really. But it is Luke Shaw now on the left-hand side, but again, no options really for him. Fernandes finds a smart pass to Rashford and then back to Martial, but there's 5 players between them and the goal, so not much penetration going on. It is now Fernandes who looked to play it past Douglas Luiz, but Pogba can recover the ball. Fernandes again. Should probably be a couple yards, maybe actually 10 yards further forward, really. But Greenwood then links up with Rashford and Wan-Bissaka, and now there are numbers on the right-hand side, and Rashford can be found, and Pogba now. Fernandes, nice pass to Rashford. Dummies the cross, finds Wan-Bissaka instead, but the cross is poor. Douglas Luiz can clear, but Rashford has it again. Fernandes, Rashford, Wan-Bissaka. It's cleared by Douglas Luiz, and it will be a United throw, I think. And Matic now. All the players on the United right, really, except for Luke Shaw, who's completely free. And Pogba looks to find him, and he has. It's a loose touch, though, and El Ghazi can clear, but only as far as Matic. And United will come again. Martial very central. Fernandes. Now Shaw. It's good play. Martial again. Shaw. Looped header towards Fernandes. And he's just missed. That was brilliant play between Rashford, Martial, Fernandes and Shaw. Pogba and Matic involved too. And it's good give and go. It looked like Shaw might have been offside, but I don't think he was. Fernandes with a free header, and you'd back him to score. It's kind of behind him, the cross, so he does have to loop it, but that should be 2-0. Ooh, head on his hands for Fernandes. Hands on my head too. It will be 4 more minutes to go of the half, but United looking to be the more dangerous of the two, practically throughout the half, really, even though it was in the brief spells. Reina looking to lump the ball forward, but Rashford heads out well. Martial was offside, so he can't go for it, but Mings clears only as far as Lindelof. Pogba and Maguire link up well again, and De Gea hits it long, looking for Greenwood, but only finds Neil Taylor, and Wan-Bissaka gives away another foul. United still the only team to register shots on targets in this game. 3 to Villa's none. And they will be looking to Jack Grealish to get them, send them kicking and screaming back into safety qualification, really. But it's a long pass towards Courtney Hawes, but it's headed out. And Maguire and now Pogba, and can United counter from this? It's Martial who finds a nice pass to Greenwood on the left, and it's now back to Fernandes, who took a long touch, but he could find Martial, but it's over here, and Reina has it now, and Villa could even counter, because they do have players forward, and it is Douglas Luiz who gets past Fernandes, but Pogba was preventing him from going further forward, and he has to play back to Neil Taylor. United can get back into their shape, and it's clipped wide to Grealish down United's right, who is fouled by Matic, and it might be a booking for Nemanja Matic, and it will be, because it was rather cynical. To be fair, that seems like the first reasonable yellow card. It does go straight clattering into Grealish. Definitely not a red, just a yellow, I think. Matic's second yellow card of the Premier League campaign. Will be a long ball into the box from Jack Grealish. He's going to have to be a 10 out of 10 cross to get a good connection. And there is Mings in there, but Matic lets it go. Not quite out yet, but Matic on the ball now. Looks to hit it long. Goes over Luiz's head, but Taylor has it now. And back to Luiz. Conter. There's 1 minute left. Oh, Maguire doesn't get that, but Pogba does. Good defensive recovery from the Frenchman. Matic. Once again, with 40 seconds left of the half, if you do have any questions or topics you'd like for me to cover in the half-time break, please comment on our comment section. I will answer them. And let you know, it's a heavy touch from Shaw, and De Gea, who was pressed all the way, had to kick it out for a throw, and it could be one last attack of the half, and Villa take it quickly with El Ghazi looking to get past Shaw to ball into Samatta, but Matic reads that very well and can clear, but Villa still pushing, and it looked like Martial was fouled, but he's got past. He found Fernandes. Can United make one last attack? It's going to be Greenwood now on the break on the right hand side, who shifted it to Martial on the edge of the box. Doesn't shoot. Greenwood instead goes for it and scores. Brilliant goal. A right-footed rocket that goes past Pepe Reina, and it's 2-0 to United on the stroke of half-time. Lovely finish. Great strength from Martial to get past Mings, and lovely skill to play it to Fernandes, who plays a standard Fernandes pass to Greenwood, who shifts it back to Martial. Good pass again to Greenwood, who hits it with his right foot, and Pepe Reina can't get anywhere near that. Brilliant finish. And Greenwood scores his 16th goal of this debut season. Full season anyway. And it is his 9th Premier League goal of the campaign. brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. He will be a star. Mark my words. And that will deflate Villa, who were looking to have one last chance with the El Ghazi cross, but the cross was poor, and United countered, and we know how devastating their counter-attack can be. Not that we've seen it much over the break, but when we have, it has been fantastic. And Fernandes, Martial and Greenwood, pivotal in the second goal. After the first goal, after Konsa fouled him and Fernandes scored. But United will be, while slightly concerned with the errors they have made on the ball, they will be happy that they have managed, against the odds it would seem, to get a 2-goal margin against Villa at Villa Park. And you have to say Villa have to do a lot better in the second half to push for potentially halving the deficit and maybe getting something out of this game, because otherwise they could sink very low. But I will be answering any questions you do have just before the second half starts. So if you can write it down in the comment channel, I will get to them in about 15 minutes. So until then, take care. Hello and welcome back just before the second half at Villa Park. And for those of you who are just joining us now, United are 2-0 up. I'm pleased to announce a Bruno Fernandes penalty after a potentially controversial decision, as Bruno Fernandes does seem to step on Konsa. However, I think that while Konsa does then also go in with his other foot and doesn't get the ball, it isn't a significant enough change to overturn Jonathan Moss's original decision for a penalty. And then as Aston Villa kept pushing, United were then a counter-attacking side, and Fernandes could have doubled his scoring and United's tally with a free header but missed. But then Mason Greenwood's right-footed rocket doubled United's lead in the dying moments of the second half, and United will come back with a 2-goal lead into the second half, and will it just depends on what happens now. I mean, Villa obviously have only scored 36 goals all season. They have only won 7 games and drawn 6. So it will be interesting to see whether they can come back from this, because it's such a commanding lead for Manchester United, and you would expect them to have a little bit more composure in the midfield, as they will be happy to just play it around and see how many goals they can get, you'd expect. And with Villa looking to try and attack, and United will try and counter, and we've seen how devastating that was with the second goal. No changes so far for either side, as Villa will get us off and running. And here we are now with Tyrone Mings looking for a long pass immediately. So we see how Villa are going to play already. But Douglas Luiz has it now. It's now John McGinn sweeping it wide right to Konsa. Now to Samatta, who gets a throw-in. Short throw quickly to Grealish. Have seen Villa take some long throws in this season, but not so far, as they are pressed all the way back to Courtney Hawes, who did so well defensively all game, really. But United can now have a bit of possession, and Lindelof has got the ball from a sharp reverse pass from Pogba. Maguire having a better first 45 minutes than the one against Bournemouth, where he was rather culpable for the goal that Bournemouth did score and open the scoring with. But so far, United are keeping Villa at bay, you'd have to say. They haven't had a shot on target yet, and United could look for a third. Wan-Bissaka putting in a cross. It's a deep ball into Rashford, but Konsa does well defensively for Villa and concedes a throw-in, but stops Rashford from a potentially dangerous opportunity. Martial obviously had a good chance to score his 21st goal of the campaign, and Greenwood had a chance to score before his first goal of the game. But Pepe Reina made some good saves. But Pogba now on the ball is getting pushed by El Ghazi and Trezeguet all the way, and Trezeguet's now won a throw-in from Shaw. United still looking to press high against Villa, because they can cause mistakes from a side that does seem to struggle in possession, but can cause problems, as Douglas Luiz puts in a long pass towards El Ghazi, and Wan-Bissaka tracks him all the way. And can Wan-Bissaka get past? Obviously, Wan-Bissaka was booked. So a cynical. Oh, now a pass in from McGinn, I think, towards Samatta, and Samatta went to the ground. Nice cross from McGinn. Not much in that. Maguire tussling with Samatta. Let's see this now. It's just one arm round him. It's nothing. He goes down a little bit too easily, you'd have to say. Maybe a bit more like the Rashford one with Douglas Luiz earlier in late stages of the first half. But it is going to be United's goal kick. And De Gea does hit it long again. We've seen in the last few games where the short goal kicks have caused problems, and a long pass, in fact, finds Greenwood, who has the ball again after some interplay between Pogba and Wan-Bissaka, and Matic can sweep it wide to Rashford, who's looking to get into the box. He's on the edge. Now back to Matic. Could have found Wan-Bissaka, but instead finds Shaw. Now Rashford into the box. Gets past one. Whips it across towards Wan-Bissaka. And it could have been his first goal in senior football, but it goes wide. It was a good chance. We'll see this now. Good pass from Shaw. Rashford destroys El Ghazi, and it's a really, really good chance. But obviously Wan-Bissaka, not used to being a goal-scoring threat, has put that very poorly wide. But United could have made it a third goal in the 49th minute. They scored, obviously, in the 49th minute of the first half. But that is actually the 45 plus 4, I guess. Now Pogba looking to drive United forward. Maybe you look for a long pass. Instead, he finds Martial, who's come very central. Now Rashford. United really, really looking to be in a groove. Solskjaer's team talk at half-time must have been very positive indeed, but also still hell-bent on getting the ball and pushing it forwards and creating more chances and killing this game off altogether. But El Ghazi now and Trezeguet, but Matic is being held back by him, and he has been awarded the foul by Trezeguet. It's now Bruno Fernandes. Greenwood and Fernandes. Villa seem to be standing off, trying to do damage control at the moment. Maybe looking to counter on the break, but they aren't getting the numbers forward because they are fully aware of United's abilities on the break themselves. But a nice pass to find Martial in the box. He's marked by Mings all the way, and Konsa reads that ball, but he's given it away again, and Douglas Luiz has to put it out for a corner to United. The last time United scored directly from a corner, it was, in fact, Harry Maguire's header against Chelsea. But it will be Fernandes again, I believe. They did take his last corner short, and United's only one of the games so far. This will be their second. It looks like he is going to swing it in. Hits it deep towards Maguire, in fact, but it is Pepe Reina's ball, who collects it quite comfortably, you have to say. And he's looking to hurl it towards Grealish, who gets a little shove in the back from Lindelof, and it will be a foul to the Villa captain, who gets a quick embrace from Lindelof, amid reports that he has actually agreed a move to Old Trafford in the summer. Obviously, that is dependent on Villa's relegation to the Championship after just 1 year back in top-flight football. But at the moment, it's not looking like their way, as Konsa now fouls Rashford, who's on the break, and that is cynical, and it will be a yellow card, and Villa's first of the game. Obviously seen two, given one to Wan-Bissaka, one to Nemanja Matic. But it will be Ezri Konsa who gets his third of the campaign. And obviously, quite controversially, it would seem now, gave away United's penalty. So now Shaw with Maguire. Lindelof. Maguire again. United really rather happy to just see how this possession takes, just see if they can manufacture a goal, but happy to stay really compact and solid at the back in case Villa counter. But it is Rashford now, and Pogba sweeps it wide for Wan-Bissaka. Greenwood leaves it smartly. Back to Greenwood though. Pogba again, about 30 yards out, could fancy a shot. He chips it in towards Greenwood, but Trezeguet does do well defensively, and it will be a goal kick. Pepe Reina takes it short this time, and it is Mings on the ball, looking for Douglas Luiz, acting like a third centre-back at that point. Villa obviously used to playing as a back five for most of the season. And a good header from Samatta finds Grealish, who can drive through. He has got loads of space, and he's found Trezeguet on the edge of the box, and he's gone in. And it's now McGinn who puts a rather tame shot straight at De Gea, who can collect rather comfortably. We have seen, of course, McGinn score a few goals this season. He has scored, I believe, 3. One being a crucial one against Tottenham. You would have thought it was the opener against Spurs, but Spurs did win in the end earlier on in the season. But Villa now building up the chances. They're now equal with United on 7 each, but have now got their first shot on target. But United still dominating in that aspect with 4. But they would be hoping for a third goal just to kill off any Aston Villa spirit, and then they can ring the changes you would expect. But that's a loose pass, and Maguire does well defensively after a couple short passes from Pogba and Lindelof. But it's good to see that Maguire's reading the errors that Lindelof makes, and Lindelof's reading Maguire's errors. So it's good that you have that kind of centre-back connection, that you can, even if you do make a mistake, however rare, the other one can solve the problems in that sense. And Wan-Bissaka does well defensively after a sloppy pass. He does allow John McGinn to let that go out for a throw. And now Pogba on the ball, battling with Grealish and Trezeguet, and does very well to get past them both. And now it's Luke Shaw, very central. I think it's Fernandez now on the left-hand side. Matic. Back to Wan-Bissaka, who is central as well. Greenwood offering width, but coming in. Pogba sweeps it nicely to Rashford on the edge of the box, who dummies a shot and hits one now! And it's offside. Rashford not, of course, but I believe it was Bruno Fernandes. Or is it Pogba? It's Pogba who makes a run in, and he's miles offside, Paul Pogba, and he leaves Pepe Reina unsighted, and that won't be a goal, unfortunately for United. Perhaps fortunately for Villa, but it is clearly the right call because Pogba was impacting Pepe Reina's view of the ball, and it will be a free kick, which Reina will take. VAR only now deciding that that was a blatant offside, so that's something that people have criticised of VAR, that's not quick enough, but Pogba quick to intercept that, and now Rashford can find Martial. It's a great touch, but it's great defending. Really great defending from Neil Taylor, because that looked like a certain goal. Really lovely pass, really great touch, but no one tells him he's got a man on, and Neil Taylor does really well. Might have injured his goalkeeper in the challenge, but he seems okay actually. While United now get the corner, and it will be Fernandes with an outswinging one on United's right, but he puts it in short towards Pogba on the edge, who looks to hit, and he scores. Brilliant goal. We've seen something not dissimilar, but certainly better from Paul Scholes down the years. But Pogba, one touch from a Fernandes cross, and he smacks it into the bottom corner. And Pepe Reina, completely unsighted, rooted, couldn't get anywhere near it. And it's a lovely finish from Pogba, who no one is marking. It's poor defending. And it is United 3, Villa 0, and it's Pogba's first goal of the campaign. And boy, did he look happy about that. 58 minutes played, and United are 3-0 up, cruising, and may be in for a hatful. another Fernandes assist, by the way, if anyone's counting. He's on to 8 goals and 7 assists for United in 15 games for the club. And it looks set to be 17 games unbeaten since that defeat to Burnley. And certainly since Bruno Fernandes has come in, it's been 15 games unbeaten. Obviously, United did play 2 games without him against Tranmere and against Manchester City in that leg at the Etihad. But one player they have also missed during that time was Paul Pogba, and he's shown what he can bring to the team, and he's driving them forward now. He's looking to feed Martial in, but it's dealt well with by Mings, and Pogba did slide in and give Aston Villa the advantage for a time being, and did just miss a substitution from Aston Villa. They are having 3 substitutions. Obviously, Dean Smith not happy with what's been happening. And it's Hourihane, Nkamba and Davis on for McGinn, Samatta and El Ghazi. So it might look like Grealish is going to operate more as a winger, and it will be, I think, Nkamba as a more defensive player. Obviously had been playing more for Villa in the earlier stages of the season. But Conor Hourihane, who has got some crucial goals for Villa, especially in the Championship, is now going to show his worth in the Premier League. Obviously, he has been linked with moves should Villa not stay up. But Martial's won that well, and Fernandes is on the ball on the edge of the box, and now it's Martial, and he hits the crossbar, and that could have been 4. Martial driving on the left-hand side. He hits a fierce shot with his left foot, I think. Good touch. Whacks it. I think it's pushed onto the bar by... It's Pepe Reina, it looks like. Or maybe it was just the swerve from the shot. I can't quite tell. Either it's a brilliant save or a very unlucky effort. Either way, United inches away from their 4th, straight after that hat-trick of substitutions from Aston Villa. But Grealish wins it well. And Hourihane is fouled by Greenwood. And Hourihane tries to get Wan-Bissaka sent off by kicking the ball straight at him. But it turns out it was a throw-in anyway, so it doesn't matter. And Dean Smith does not look happy with either the referee or his team, who haven't really got going in the second half. While they have registered a shot on target, it still wasn't good enough performances overall. And it does look like United will be looking to push Leicester and Chelsea all the way. They are now 1 point behind Leicester and 2 behind Chelsea, who are in 4th and 3rd respectively. And it does send Villa definitively 19th, not on goal difference now, but a point below Bournemouth in 18th and 4 behind Watford and West Ham in 17th and 16th, and minus 29 goal difference, which is going to be hard to overcome with only 4 Premier League games left to survive from. But the good link-up play on the edge of the box, and Grealish fires it in towards Konsa, who puts in a deep cross towards Hourihane, but De Gea can catch it quite easily. And can United counter? 5 minutes till the drinks break and the 3rd quarter of the game, as some managers have said. But Grealish looks like he's injured himself. He's gone down holding his left heel. And it looks rather... He's got up though, so he seems okay. He's just testing it out. Obviously, he has been fouled his a fair few times today, as he has been all season, really. But he seems okay. He might just shake it off. Was being tussled with by Lindelof, but nothing foul-worthy, really. he has been such a crucial player for Villa for any kind of success they've had this season, really. And honestly, it's been really important. It's really important that if they do stay up, they do keep him. But if they don't, they'll try and get as good a deal for him as they can. Obviously, with the financial implications of the pandemic, as well as just the fact that they are no longer in the Premier League and generating as much revenue. But it is still a big club, Aston Villa, regardless of where they are. So they will be hoping to get a good deal should he leave in the summer. But at the moment, United are set to make a couple of changes. It looks like Brandon Williams and Scott McTominay are coming on. I assume for Luke Shaw and maybe Matic, but you could see Pogba coming off. But a long pass from Matic finds Wan-Bissaka. Reverse pass to Martial, back to Greenwood. And now Pogba on the ball, looks to find Shaw down the left, who has played a lot of football since United came unbeaten. He's only actually missed, I believe, 20 minutes of football during that time. And shows his levels of fitness have upped substantially. Could be Wan-Bissaka, who is obviously booked. And Pogba looking to thread a pass to Martial. Fernandes loops the header towards the Frenchman anyway. And Martial looks to dance on the right-hand side. And his cross is deflected into Reina's arms. And it's good defensive play by Marvellous Nakamba even. Trezeguet. And now Keenan Davis down United's left. Looks to find Douglas Luiz centrally in Hurahan. And then Grealish against Wan-Bissaka. Gets in the box, whips it in, and it swerves wide. It looked like he was trying to replicate his goal at Old Trafford, but it instead of swerving into the top corner, it just swerves away for a goal kick. And there are two substitutions for United that are going to be made now. And one will be Nemanja Matic, who is coming off for, if you believe Solskjaer, his prodigy, Scott McTominay, who, of course, has been tipped to replace Matic in the long term. Obviously, Matic signing a new 2-year deal, but McTominay, young and eager to learn. Wan-Bissaka is coming off after being slightly defensively culpable at times, which is something we haven't seen for the majority of the season. I'd say about 99% of the season. Wan-Bissaka's been the most defensively solid player at United, but he has been a little bit bamboozled by the crosses coming in and has missed a few headers. So Williams, who is naturally right-footed, will slot in at right-back, and you'd expect him to seize this opportunity, obviously, with limited game time for him at the moment, with the team playing so well as a whole. And Grealish does some good defensive work and wins the ball from Martial with some good strength. But it is Pepe Reina now with the ball, and he's looking to try and get Villa some sort of consolation or some way back into the game, if anything. But can't get really out of their own third, because United are pressing very well. But a launched forward ball does find Davis, who controls it well, but goes back into his own half. Now Douglas Luiz, who's operating a bit wider, has a bit more license to roam now with Nakamba in the side. But Grealish now on Villa's left-hand side, looking to get past Brandon Williams. Williams harassing him all the way, not letting him go. And in the end, Grealish is forced to play it back to Mings, who sweeps it for Courtney Hawes. And a nice pass to try and find... Oh, it's sloppy, and McTominay clears up well, though. De Gea now with the ball, and he gets past Trezeguet quite smartly, and it's now Shaw on the ball. Greenwood to Pogba. The midfield two who started the campaign against Chelsea reunite again, McTominay and Pogba. And it's now Lindelof and Williams. Back to Lindelof. It's now Villa's turn to press, but United can get out of it if Pogba can find the pass. Instead, it's Shaw, and it's short, but Greenwood does do well. Now operating as a left winger. Fernandes now back to Shaw. Greenwood with good movement, and Fernandes down the left-hand side could find a pass to Rashford, but it's overhit, and Reina can collect again. Reina has, even for a 35-year-old goalkeeper, I believe, might actually be older, but he's been very quick off his line and very smart when it comes to his distributions and collection when it comes to crosses. You can say collection. It's not. He's barely punched the ball. It's always been really two strong hands on the ball. But after a short break from the substitutions and the injuries, there is going to be another drinks break in this quarter. And obviously United 3-0 up. And you have to say Villa haven't really looked anything like an attacking side. You have to say United have been controlling the game well. A few sloppy passes here and there, but United dealing with any problems they cause themselves, really, because Villa aren't causing them problems, well, to a significant degree at the moment. And Dean Smith is giving Hurahan and Louise an earful. But you have to hope that United can just keep onto that clean sheet, because it has shown how far they've come. Because really, United have just at times struggled to keep that lead when they've got it, and struggled to keep the teams at bay, and have got sloppy at points. But we just have to keep going, and United are, in fact, 1 goal away from their 60th Premier League goal and their 100th of the season in all competitions. Of course, they've scored 21 in the Europa League, I believe 12 in the FA Cup, and, if I'm not mistaken, 7 in the Carabao Cup. And now Bruno Fernandes will make way. He's done his duty. It looks like it's going to be more of a 4-3-3, and it will be Fred to come on. Fernandes, who of course got the crucial penalty to get United up and running in the game, and it will be the usual two who played so well throughout the season, Fred and McTominay in the midfield, and it looks like Pogba will be more advanced and looking to get more minutes under his belt. You would probably expect him to come off at some point, but United have made 3 of their available 5 substitutions. You would probably expect their last 2 to be Daniel James and Odion Ighalo, who are both, while Igalo's been a rather more prolific of late than Dan James, both will be wanting to score goals and increase their tally for their debut seasons. It's now Greenwood on the ball, looking more and more mature with every pass he makes. And Lindelof to McTominay, looking to drive the team forward. Passes to Greenwood on the right. Cutting in, sweeps it to Fred. Almost scored against Bournemouth, if not for a good save from Aaron Ramsdale. It's now Shaw to Rashford. Back to Fred. Douglas Luiz chasing him all the way. McTominay now. Back to Fred. And it's Pogba. Looks to turn, find Martial. Rashford now. Had Shaw making a run but opted against it. Found Pogba instead. Back to Fred. Clips it wide to Brandon Williams. That's a nice pass. Can he get a good cross in? It's a decent cross, but no one could get near it. And Shaw wins the ball well. It's Pogba in the box, but he can't find Martial. And it's dealt with well by Tyrone Mings. And it's Hurahan pressed all the way. And now it's Davis on the ball, but he's found a pass to, I think it was Nakamba, and Grealish can now drive the team forward, but the pass is very poor, and it will be a throw-in to United, trying to feed, I believe, El Ghazi, but couldn't do so. Grealish not having the best of games today, which would be probably part 2 of his audition for Manchester United, and has kind of fell short, really. But a nice sweeping pass to Maguire has found Rashford, who's come very deep now, and Fred United happy to keep the possession. It's now Lindelof and McTominay and Shaw. Fred again. United not able to really penetrate. You're not surprised without Bruno Fernandes. But United now know that they have to just keep winning, because while they are gaining ground, Chelsea won, Leicester could salvage a point, but they have got 4 good games, 4 games you'd expect them to win against. At home to Southampton on Monday, Crystal Palace, I believe, the Wednesday, and then obviously Chelsea in the semi-final of the FA Cup on the Sunday. Then they have West Ham on the Wednesday after, and then to conclude the Premier League campaign, it will be Leicester City away on the final day of the season on the Sunday. And United know that if they win every single one of their games, which they are probably expected to do, they will get top 4. Which obviously is not a long-term ambition, but is as good as they can get for this season at least. They will obviously be hoping, with a few transfers, to be competing more for the Premier League title, certainly more regularly than they have been. And Martial's done well with his hold-up play and found Luke Shaw. And Rashford's made a run after offside originally, and he looks to get past Hawes. Waiting for Shaw, good link-up. Shaw's in the box, looks for a cross, and it's defended well by Villa for a corner. Rashford deciding against taking on some of Villa's players, and it looks like Igalo's getting ready to come on. You'd assume for Martial. They'll probably wait for the corner to be taken. And Daniel James, as I predicted, is Daniel James and Igalo ready. Probably will wait till after the set piece, which looks to be taken by Marcus Rashford, who was crucial to earning it in the first place. And 15 minutes left of the game. Rashford whips it in towards Greenwood, but it's headed out well. Shaw, Fred, back to Rashford. Rashford on the left-hand side can only play it back to Fred. No real movement ahead of him. But United won't mind. They're not going to exert themselves too much. 3-0 up. No movement ahead of Pogba on the right-hand channel either, and he's forced to play it back to McTominay. The midfield's going to have to contribute if United want the record goal. And it's Shaw. And Lindelof. Looking to drive past and get past Douglas Luiz, and Greenwood now sweeps it wide for Williams. Pogba's making a run, and Williams finds him. Pogba drives in a cross, but it's deflected, and Mings can clear, and McTominay will recover this now. And United are comfortable going into the last 15, of course. And it is Lindelof who hits it long, looking for Shaw, finding Shaw. Rashford now not really finding any fortune at the moment. We'll hope to see whether United can get that 4th. Will be a massive statement. Of course, they are the only team that are unbeaten since the lockdown, having won. I believe this will be 4 on the bounce, and this is 4 on the bounce, and obviously the draw against Tottenham at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But Aston Villa with possession now. Hurahan to Konsa, and Shaw does well. Rashford gets past Konsa and is fouled, but I think he'll be the one to come off now, and so will Anthony Martial. And Martial, it's not Rashford, in fact, it is Greenwood instead, who obviously scored the crucial settler. Martial, of course, got a couple chances to score, but didn't quite manage it, and he will be replaced by Igalo. Always important to keep the players hungry, keep them, knowing full well that they will be replaced if they don't score, so they've got to make an impact while they can. But Dan James and Igalo looking to get important goals for their confidence, in fact. Martial not very happy at coming off, but will know that he played a crucial role in the second goal for United, and Mason Greenwood's first of the game, who also makes way. And looks like Dan James will be operating as a left winger, and Rashford's on the right this time, and Pogba can find James, who may have been offside, but he's whipped in a shot, and it's gone very far wide, actually. Disappointingly so. It looked a bit more like one of those cross shots we've seen Origi score from, but he looks offside, actually, Dan James. And he whips in a cross. Rashford can't... Well, looks like a shot, but Rashford couldn't get there either. But it's 11 minutes left of this game, and United very comfortable. Villa looks sunk, but still offering to keep United at bay, still making damage control, not conceding, looking not to concede the fourth, and maybe looking for some sort of consolation. But honestly, I see United seeing them out. It's now Dan James down the left, who's looking to get past Konsa, who is booked, so he knows and he's fouled as well, and it's a dangerous position, and it's going to be another yellow card for Marvellous Nakamba. And it's a dangerous option for United, who have some good free kick takers. Pogba and Rashford probably the most likely to take it, but Fred could also offer an option with his left foot. It is just before the centre circle, and like I said, three players are looking for the opportunity to score, and it is Pogba and Rashford and Fred. You would expect Rashford to take it. He has put the ball down. Obviously, hasn't scored yet this game. Did score from a set piece last game. Obviously, his classy penalty. And it looks like it will be Rashford, but it's quite close for one of his shots. You would probably expect Pogba to have taken it, but we'll have to see. It's going to be Rashford, and it is over. And you would have probably expected that, you have to say. United obviously did finally break their duck of free kick efforts last game against Bournemouth. Fernandez's whipped shot beat Aaron Ramsdale to make United's scoreline 5-2, and their 3-goal difference in their third game running. And United will now have 3 goals if they can see out Villa, and will have a 3-goal margin victory for the 4th game in a row. And I don't remember the last time they've managed that in the Premier League. But Douglas Luiz now presses, I believe, Paul Pogba, and it's now Douglas Luiz down the channel, and it's Hurahan, but Williams does very well, and it will be a corner to Villa. It's good running by Davis, who feeds Douglas Luiz. It's deflected by Maguire only as far as Hurahan, and the shot may have been going wide anyway, but Williams does very well to block it after... I mean, he looked like he slipped as well in running back, but United will be wanting that clean sheet, and Tyrone Mings will be looking for another goal against United. It is whipped in towards Grealish, and De Gea collects quite easily. He's had a comfortable game. Very, very deep, that corner, and De Gea can just collect quite easily. It's now Fred. Might have been Fred who actually lost possession. I wasn't quite sure. It happened in a bit of a blur. Actually, seeing that back, no, I was right before. It was Pogba who lost possession, but no problems now. And Grealish now looking to try and make a difference from a deeper position, even though he has been operating as a left winger. It's now Nakamba and Grealish. He's looking to try and get past Daniel James, who has come back on the right-hand side. Pogba now pressing Nakamba, but forced all the way back, and Villa will be making another attacking substitution, probably take off Grealish, who has been rather poor all game, you would expect. And Villa have won a throw-in and will be allowed to make that change. And it is going to be Vasilev coming on, Indiana Vasilev, and it will be for midfielder Douglas Luiz. Villa will go back to their midfield too. You would probably expect it to be a 4-2-4 potentially, but could in fact be Grealish coming back to a number 10 role to get on the ball. Vasilev, of course, has not yet started for Aston Villa. Still made 6 appearances, nonetheless. And now United do win possession back from that throw, and De Gea with the ball now. Oh, and that could have been costly, but Lindelof does well, and Brandon Williams launches it forward. They have been used to playing those long kicks out, and they have worked today. And honestly, they are working more a treat than the short passes, as Grealish now on the left-hand side looks to get past Brandon Williams, and the youngster defends well, but Hourihane looks for a pass, but Williams again does very well and wins a throw-in from a deflection by El Ghazi. Williams, of course, the last game he started was against... the last game he started was, I believe, against Manchester City in the 2-0 win on Derby Day in the Premier League. Of course, operating as a wing-back, was taken off when Mahrez was causing a lot of trouble, and Eric Bailly did come on then, but no sign that he's struggling against Grealish or El Ghazi either. And Fred, there's a few shouts for handball, but United will play on nonetheless, and have given away a throw-in though, and Villa can get possession back. It's Hourihane and Nakamba. United now defending very fixed, just trying to make sure Villa don't get their goal and seeing whether they can counter with the pace they have up front. It's now Grealish trying to get past Dan James, finds Hourihane. Neil Taylor, it's a sloppy pass and makes Nakamba track all the way back, and Pogba's defending well and has forced an error from Nakamba, and United have the throw. Williams plays it to Fred, whose touch is poor, and that could be a chance for Villa, and it's Davis in the box, but can't get past Lindelof. It's now Grealish to try his luck against Fred, and Fred defends well, and Grealish puts in another cross, and it will be side netting. And it will be a corner, I think, for Aston Villa. And Fred's been given a yellow card for... We're going to see how it was. Nothing significant, I don't think. Doesn't look like a foul. Looks like he gets the ball, really. But odd call from Jonathan Moss. Couple yellow cards for United have been a bit questionable. But overall... obviously the penalty was his decision, but VAR didn't overrule it, so you can't blame him for that. But for overall, he's managed the game relatively well, you'd have to say. But McTominay now on the ball, getting a few rare minutes in for him. Only started 2 games since the restart against Norwich and against Tottenham, but was brought off for Nemanja Matic, who's come in and done a fantastic job. McTominay now looking to find Williams, but Villa's shape prevents United from going further forward, and Fred has to try and recycle the play. And it's loose, but Maguire was available to read that, and De Gea plays it back to Fred. Williams and Lindelof. And in a couple of minutes, I will be giving my man of the match when the clock hits 90. Comment below if you'd like to give your own opinion on who you think has been the man of the match of the game. And of course, we will be live next Monday for the United's next clash against Southampton. But for the moment, it's Rashford on the edge of the box, finds a reverse pass to Shaw, and look to try and get either a cross or a shot in, but it's defended well by Courtney Hawes. Rashford and Shaw have been linking up really, really well all game and pretty much since the restart, and can't get the ball. It looks like he's going across, and it's a strong thigh from Courtney Hawes in the way of Luke Shaw. And it will be Rashford to take this set piece. Last one proved not to be too dangerous. We'll see how this one is. It's straight at Hawes again. Shaw back to Lindelof. Couldn't find a pass forward. Back to Shaw again. But Fred now on the ball. Looking to have a bit more directness in his play. Pogba. Happy to play it back. But still no forward passes for United just yet. But Brandon Williams looks to bring United forward and finds Dan James down the right. Puts in a cross. But it's straight into Villa player. I think it's Konsa. But United can get the ball back from the throw and recycle the play. They might be pushing for the fourth now. It's Maguire finding Rashford. It's a short and sharp pass. He drives into the box but gives it back to Shaw outside nonetheless. Pogba and James. Good link up. Fred and McTominay and Brandon Williams again on the right hand side. Finds a nice pass to Dan James, who whips across in, but again it hits the first man. And Grealish now looking for passes forward, can only find Konsa back, who's drifted onto the left-hand side, and Dan James has fouled him. It will be a free kick to Villa. So, man of the match today, obviously 3 goal scorers, Dan James, Pogba, sorry, not Dan James, Mason Greenwood, I apologise. Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. While you could say Paul Pogba's been the one that's been dictating play and creating those forward passes that have facilitated the attacking players to be as far forward as they are, I have to say, he gets my man of the match. His goal was fantastic, and he's driving the team forward now, actually. So he finds Rashford, and it's a good save. As I was saying, Pogba driving the team forward at time, finding incisive passes and great attacking play throughout, and been solid defensively too. But it's a great run, great pass from Pogba, and Rashford can't get his 21st, but 90 seconds left, and Pogba is my man of the match. But if you disagree or have another opinion, please comment below. Love to hear what you say. But Fred looks to slide one in, and Mings clears. And clears only for a throw-in to United. United easily could have had about 6 today. Of course, Liverpool smashed Villa the last time they went down, and United did relegate them. It will take a few more losses for Villa to be relegated from the Premier League just yet. But they've got 4 games to change their fortunes. But it's looking like a difficult task for Dean Smith. And Rashford now whips it to Brandon Williams and finds him down the right-hand side. He's not looking to put in a first-time cross. Instead looks for Scott McTominay. And then Fred. And then it's Maguire. Rashford now. Oh, Pogba now driving into the box, and he looked like he was fouled. And Villa try and get it away, and it was foul. It was a foul by United, but they will look at this. Pogba driving into the Villa box, and looks like he's fouled, but will VAR see otherwise? They don't look at it. It is just a trailing leg from Trezeguet, but probably not significant enough to outdo that. And United do get the win as the final whistle blows. And United, now with their 16th win of the Premier League campaign, have 17 games unbeaten in all competitions, an emphatic 3-0 and a 3-goal margin victory for the 4th game in a row in the Premier League. And they know for sure that as long as they keep pushing and keep winning, they will get top 4. That's all from me today. As always, we will be back for the next United game, and which will be Southampton at home on Monday night. Until then, if you have any questions or topics you'd like for us to discuss, then please comment below on this YouTube video and I'll have a look for next week. And if you enjoyed this, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter for all of our content.